FM23 is here, and I know a lot of you guys might not have the biggest transfer budgets in the world, and if that is the case, or even if it's not, stick around for this video because today we'll be showing you some hidden gem players in FM23. These are guys who are severely undervalued, will make you massive profits or be great players for your side, so there's a win-win situation for everyone here. We've got plenty to get into, 15 plus players, so let's run the intro and get right into it. Hi everyone, Jake here for FMSCOUT, and as mentioned we've got 15 hidden gem players for you today to make you loads of money in FM23. These are particularly good if you're on a tight budget, and I'm gonna guess 99% of you won't have heard of a majority of these players, so there'll be a player for everyone. With that being said, we've got a lot to get into, so let's go right in to player number 1. And what a player it is that we start off with. It is Kostas Fortounis, who plays for Olympiakos out in Greece. Now he's 29, and that'll be a theme with a lot of the players in this list. You're not going to be seeing 18, 19-year-old Wonderkids. Most of them are early 20s or higher. But for about £1 million to be able to pick up a player of this quality is exceptional. Now don't judge the star ratings in this video because we are managing Manchester City and every player is being compared to their best player. So in theory, all of these guys are being compared to Haaland and De Bruyne. But if we forget about those star ratings and look purely at the attributes, this guy is a passing wizard, great dribbler, crosser, very good on set pieces, a great first touch as well. Yes, his physicals are slowly moving away, but they're still at a decent level, as are his mentals. This guy looks phenomenal and would be a great player for the majority of teams in world football. For player number 2, we've got a goalkeeper, but don't forget to like the video if you are enjoying. It will really help us out and also lets us know that you're enjoying the content, and subscribe for more. We're doing daily Football Manager videos at the minute, so if you hit that subscribe button you won't miss any of them, and let me know in the comments your biggest hidden gem player you've found so far. But Oliver Christensen is the goalkeeper we're focusing on here, a Danish 23-year-old available for £3 million-ish. He's 6'3" and has a great combination of physical and mental attributes at a very, very high level, and his goalkeeping attributes are also very good. Not the best first touch or passing, but you can forgive that for a goalkeeper who is very strong in all other areas. We now go to the second division of Portugal and to Tondela, or TND they might be called in your save if you don't have the real name fixed, and it is Telmo Arcanjo, a Cape Verdean international of all things, who has some great ability at the age of 21. Very well rounded in all areas. He's not too stand out in any particular one, but his base set of attributes are very well spread out, and you can kind of mould him into whatever role you would like in that midfield. He's a super well-rounded player, and for £3 million or so, it's hard to go wrong with this guy. And as with every player in this list, they'll either be very good for you or make you a massive profit. I'm gonna guess Telmo here would be a mix of both. Before we move on to the next player, I'd just like to let you guys know I do have my own channel linked in the description where we have a Leicester save going on currently. A lot of you guys have came over to the channel and said that you've really enjoyed watching it, so thank you to anyone who does go and check that out. We've recently hit 10,000 subscribers on there, so thank you for that, but if we can keep it going, that would be awesome. And speaking of keeping it going, let's move back to our player list. And our next hidden gem plays for Real Sociedad, or San Sebastian as they may be called if you don't have the name fixed, and this player is called Ehen Munoz. Now I've probably butchered that pronunciation, but the 24-year-old left back certainly has the attributes to play at a very high level. Very well balanced attributes in all areas. He can tackle very, very well and also has great work rate. His positional play and marking are also exceptional and would certainly do the defensive side of that fullback role very well. Maybe if you have a more attacking fullback on the other side, Munoz could be a great counter for that. He's an awesome player and one that I'm a big fan of. And if you do want a player on the other side and you don't have a couple £1 million to spend, then Bodo Glimt's Alphonse Samsted could be a phenomenal choice. A star player for his club. His contract expires at the end of 2022 in December, and for that reason, his valuation is very cheap. He's been capped 13 times at the age of 24 for the Icelandic national team and has some very good physical attributes. Really high stamina, work rate and teamwork make him an exceptional team player on that right hand side. His mentals are pretty much faultless. His technical attributes are the weakest area of his game, but it's still not awful, particularly when you factor in the price for this guy. He is a no-brainer must sign for me. Maybe you're managing in England and you can't get a work permit for any of these guys. Well, fear not. Why not go for a player who's already playing in England, one for QPR in the Championship? And that is Sam Field, who's able to play naturally in central midfield or defensive midfield and is a very, very nice passer of the football. Left-footed, his physicals aren't blowing anyone away, but they're fine. They're not going to cause any harm, really. But he does have very good vision, passing and technique, but despite that, it does not mean that he can't defend well. He can position himself well and put in a strong tackle with a good first touch. This guy would certainly be worth the investment at £3 million or so, particularly considering he's a young Englishman as well. He's definitely going to make you a large profit in the future once he develops a little bit and plays for your side. The next player we have is Mr. Versatile in the midfield is Parthat Guegon, who plays for Maccabi Tel Aviv in Israel. Again, apologies for the pronunciation of that name, but this guy can play pretty much any role in the midfield, but is natural in behind the striker or in central midfield. Now, his physicals are lacking a bit in the strength and the jumping reach department. He's only 5'6". He's not going to be a massive physical presence, but his technicals and mentals certainly balance that out. He does need some work in a few key areas: decision making, anticipation, finishing and balance. But look, this guy's 21, he's dirt cheap and he's got plenty of time to improve. It's a no-brainer signing, and again, he's either going to be good for you or make you tons of money. If you're struggling to score goals, then maybe look no further than Roberto De La Rosa. He plays for Pachuca out in the Mexican divisions, and at the age of 22, I was very surprised when I saw his attributes, to be honest, because his physicals, you look at them first and you think, okay, it's not great, he's not too quick, he's not strong, he's decent in the air, but that's pretty much it. But then you look at those mentals and those technicals, and it kind of negates it. You do still wish that his physicals were stronger, but great decision making, anticipation, finishing. He can pass pretty well, he can head the football, he's also good on set pieces and in a few different areas on top of that. He's never going to be your 50 goal a season striker, but yeah, deep line forward would actually be a pretty good role for him. You can see why the game's suggesting it, and I think he could make a great sign-in for maybe a high-level Championship team, low-level Premier League, if you were looking for a striker. You'll have to be quick on him though, because he does have interest at the start of this save at least, and it is by Fulham, so they're looking for a backup to Mitrovic here, you would have thought, and he would not do a bad job. Another dirt cheap player who can still get loads better because he is still so young is Jakub Kadak, who plays for Luzern out in Switzerland. Now, the 21-year-old Slovakian has plenty of caps for the under-21 team, and it looks like it won't be long until he gets his appearances for the Slovakian first team. A very nice option in attacking midfield with great technicals and mentals. For £2 million or so, it's hard to argue against this being a good signing. I know his physicals aren't amazing, but again, we can kind of balance that out based on how good everything else is. A phenomenal creator who can also score very well. Maybe shadow striker would be a great role for him. Like I say, still a lot of room left to grow, and he could become a key player for your side. 6 players left to go now. Don't forget to like the video if you are enjoying, but we have another goalkeeper, this time a 25-year-old Mexican by the name of Jose Hernandez, who plays for Atlas Guadalajara out in the Mexican divisions. They're coming at me with all of these hard pronunciations today. Now, Jose here is pretty small, but he still has some very good goalkeeping attributes, some nice jumping reach to kind of counteract the small height. Nicely balanced in his mentals as well. That determination and decision making is very low, but sometimes you can look past these things if his attributes are good in other areas, and Jose is certainly someone who fits that bill. Again, dirt cheap for this player, you can't go wrong, and he would be a great choice in the net for your team. Another good young cheap striker from the Mexican divisions is 23-year-old Uruguayan Federico Vinas, who plays for Club America, one of the biggest sides in Mexico. This 5'11" striker is a deadly finisher who is very composed and anticipates the ball well in front of goal with good decision making and some nicely balanced physicals as well. Another one of those players where nothing's going to blow your socks off. Wow, this is an amazing player, but he looks so solid for that price point, £2 million or so for a very nice deep line forward. Even it's suggesting complete forward, and highlighting those attributes, he really would suit that down to the ground. A left-footed forward at the age of 23, he will get better still, and I'm sure he could bag plenty of goals for your team. A player that starts off with a pretty serious injury is Cesar Galaber of Mirandes out in the second division of Spain. Now, he's definitely a mixed bag. You do have to counter out the fact that he's coming off a big long-term injury which could affect his career, alongside the fact that some of those mentals are really not very good. But then you see those technicals, you see some of those mentals, and you start to think he could be a very good player. So my suggestion with Cesar here is maybe scout him, see how he recovers from his injury. Maybe you'll start to see some of these attributes ticking back up a little bit quicker, particularly in the physical department as he rehabilitates to football. So maybe that's the best idea. But if your scouts come back with a decent report, he would certainly be a good central midfield or attacking midfield option. But for me, the better value Spaniard of the two is this guy, 25-year-old Pejino of Las Palmas, again in the second division of Spain. There seems to be a lot of bargains out there. He's an important player for his team, so £2.5 million or so should be able to net you this player. Great technical attributes, nice physicals and mentals as well. This guy is the real deal on that left-hand side. It suggests an inside forward, but he is a left footer on the left hand side, so maybe you could train him as an inside forward on the right. Maybe that would be the best role for him. That's where I would use him personally, but either way, Pejino would be a great sign-in no matter where you use him in that attacking lineup. 2 players to go now, we're nearly there, and our penultimate player is Shinta Appelkamp of Fortuna Dusseldorf, a team in the second division of Germany. Now, this 21-year-old German is capped for the German under-21 team, and he can play naturally as a left-sided winger, an attacking midfielder, or even just an out-and-out central midfielder. And at that age and the attributes that he's got, he's not really set to play one of those roles exactly. I think because he's only 21, the best idea would be to figure out what role you want him to play and just train him for that role over time, and he could definitely do a good job of it. For me, he's no better a Mazzala than he is an inside forward or an inverted winger. It's just going to take some time to find what role he's best at, but he's got a great base set of attributes to build up from, not lacking in too many areas, and this German could end up being a regular starter for your side once he develops a little bit. And we're here with our final player. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more as we push for 150k subs, and check out the Leicester save on my channel in the description. But we have 23-year-old Mexican Vladimir Lorona, who plays for Tigres out in Mexico, where there seems to be one too many bargains. So scout that Mexican division, and I'm sure you might find some more that I haven't mentioned here today. Speaking of which, there's a full list of all of these hidden gem players in the description down below. Maybe you want some other options, or you can't afford some of these upper echelon players. There's loads in that list that you can pick from, so hopefully you'll find someone for you. But this fullback has exceptional mental attributes. Every single one is at a good level or higher, so that's very nice to see. And his physicals aren't awful either. Looking at his technicals, he can cross well as do the dirty tackling side of the game. He's not going to burst past and dribble past people, but either way, he still looks like a great option at fullback for about £2-3 million, and I think he'd be a great sign-in for your team, as all of these players were. But there you go, everyone. That is our list of hidden gems in FM23. Hopefully you are enjoying the release of the full game. So thank you for watching, but most of all, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.